Hey guys, today I want to talk with you guys about the importance of the soil sampling. Okay, we have a few components in a soil test. First of all, we need to go out, we need to go to the field and take some soil cores. Then we send the soil to the lab where the sample will be analyzed. And based on that, we are getting a soil testing lab report. And with that, we will be able to have a recommendation for wherever crop we are here talking today. My message today for you guys is yes, we can have problems with your lab analysis. Sometimes it happens, but most of the time, the problem is we are not taking the soil samples in the way we're supposed to be in the field. And that's what I want to highlight with you guys today. We need to identify the source of variability in the field. So if you have any kind of soil or yield maps or aerial photos, pictures that you can see your field, it will help you to identify the source of variability and maybe split your field in 1, 2, or 3. Rather than that, we need to consider that it's important to understand that topography can change soil fertility. So if you have a situation where you have a top, side slope, and bottom, you can divide your field in 3, for example, and we're going to have different recommendations for each of these parts of the field. Other than that, identify if you had there any kind of old homesteads, old feedlots. What was the cropping history in that area? Was it planted with corn, beans in the past? Did you fertilize it in the past with different, nutrients? Did you apply any kind of manure in the past? All of these will help you to identify a more homogeneous area to take your soil samples out of it. Overall, we should have a 0 to 6 inch depth when we are trying to identify pH, phosphorus, potassium, zinc, and organic matter. However, if you are in a non-till situation, you want to figure out what you have there in terms of pH to address a lime application, you can go 0 to 3 inches and you have a good number. And based on that, we will be able to get a good lime recommendation. On the other side, if you are interested in know more about nitrogen, sulfur, and chloride, we should go with something like 0 to 24 inches. I know that's hard. Sometimes it's hard to get there, but that will be the kind of sampling that will help us to understand better the soil profile, which will be the perfect scenario to give you a great recommendation. Also, it's important to take in multiple soil cores for each field and put them all together to have a composite sample. So when you go to the field to get your soil sample, have with you at least 15, 20 soil cores, put all of it in the bucket, mix all together, and make a pack all of it. If we are talking about fields, greater than 20 acres, if you have like a 40-acre field, it'll be great to have 2 samples out of it. You can split it in half. You have 20 acres A, 20 acres B, and we will be able to get a better, soil nutrients management recommendation for you. And when we say that, 15 to 20 soil cores are important to do it, it's because we know that the confidence and the numbers will getting better as we have higher number of soil cores. A frequent question is, can I take instead of 15, 20, can I take 5? Yes, you can, but it will not give you the best number. The variation will be great, and maybe you end up making bad decisions based on just a few soil cores. So don't do it. Looking for getting like 15 to 20 in each of these fields that you were looking for, getting a better nutrient management. 2 other things that are important to know: time and depth. In terms of time, we need to understand that especially when we have crop residues in the field, it will be processed throughout the year, and sometimes it will change the amount of nutrients we have there. So more than understand what's going on exactly, is good to take your soil samples in the same time of the year. So do not do at the same field, one year I'm going to take soil samples in the fall, another year I will take them during the summer or during the springtime, you can end up with different numbers that will be a result of the scrap residues being available throughout the year. Also, so that's important to choose one time of the year and always do it at the same time, which is better for you. Also, if you are considering depth, we already mentioned that 0 to 6 is the most common one that we have been using for most of our fields. And we need to know that, throughout the layers in the soil, we have difference in nutrient concentration. So if you take a 0 to 6, let's assume that you're going to have a number like 15 ppm. But if instead of 0 to 6, you are getting tired, take your soil cores, you start to take like 0 to 4 soil samples, and you do not realize it, you can end up with a number like 22 ppm. And the recommendation for you will be completely different if we have a number that come up like 15 or 22. So once in a while, you need to check if you are really doing at 0 to 6, making sure that every soil core you are placing, you're taking samples from the right depth that we need to have. So we will get a confident number out of your soil sample. Avoid, dirty buckets, galvanized buckets. We should have a clean buckets with clean tools that will allow us to get a reliable soil sample. Do not oven dry soil samples, and especially, high temperatures can alter test results, especially potassium. And especially for nitrate samples, you can air dry them if you take a few days to ship them. That's important. So keep in mind that you need to understand all of this process and make all of it in a good way in order to get a good number. Clean buckets, 15 to 20 soil cores, right depth, right time of the year, always in the same time of the year. Because based on that, you get your soil test report, and we will be able to end up with a good nutrient management recommendation, because you got a good number out of your soil sample. So that was my message for today. I'll see you guys next time.